Committed to the bit. I like it.
Yeah.
And so is Ryan. Yeah.
Well,
there it is.
Yeah. It was doing the spinny thing for a while, so I hope it actually went live when I wanted it to go live. Chat, what's up? Let us know if it went live, and let us know how you're doing. We appreciate each and every one of y'all.
Yeah, chat. Hope your armies survived the MFM without too many licks. I don't think anyone got like blown out of the water one way or the other. I feel like Necron's got tuned in a little bit, but I haven't really done much diving on that.
They didn't as much as they should have, for sure.
Are they still pogging out of control?
Wraiths being untouched is kind of wild to me, but yeah.
Yeah, I think they were saying in the MetaWatch video that they're gonna leave Wraiths alone, but that like Wombo combo character, they jacked his points up like crazy, so you're actually paying for it.
Yeah.
But
well,
it might still be worth it.
I think the like full combo is plus 25 points, something like that.
Shit, that's nothing.
So it's like not enough that I don't know. I think they needed more than that.
Yeah. And then the Catan spam, I think, went up in aggregate by about 200 points total from what I was looking at.
As it should, yeah.
Yeah.
Void Dragon went up substantially, and I think Nightbringer went up pretty substantially.
Yeah.
Maybe Transcendent also.
Overall, not a lot of movement, though. I'm kind of surprised, but also a little relieved because, you know, things are... I think things are in a good spot.
Admech. They're just making it more of a horde army. I straight up don't know if I can like play that army until they bump the points back up, because I don't have enough shit to make a coherent list at this point.
In the article, they actually say that like if they don't improve from this points wave, that they're gonna give them like modified rules, or maybe like it was vague enough to where
they were
like,
already testing like rules.
Yeah.
For Admech. I wouldn't be shocked if they're also doing that for Deathwatch.
Probably. That would actually make a ton of sense.
Or if they're just folding Deathwatch into Agents of the Imperium, so...
Well, that's a conspiracy theory. We'll go down another day.
But today, what we're doing is we're going to try to fix Adeptus Custodes. Obviously, got a good look at the codex. Doesn't look great. So, we're going to take a little bit of inspiration from the Orks codex, and by a little bit of inspiration, I mean we're just going to adapt the Bully Boys detachment to work for Adeptus Custodes. Now, I do want to lead this off with a disclaimer. None of us are game designers. We don't do this for a living. This is probably going to be completely wildly busted and botched, but it's going to be fun, and that's all that matters. And we're going to play this detachment on stream at some point, and it's going to be stupid. So...
It's going to be hysterical.
Without any further
I have
ado,
taken some classes in game design, but...
Ooh.
I've taken some courses in like the technical side of video game design.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, all my stuff has been video game design, which isn't really going to translate to this so much.
Yeah.
But it's going to be great. We're going to nail it.
Chat, help us out with this. If you got any thoughts about, you know, what would make a good Custodes detachment as we're going through this, let us know. Maybe we'll throw your suggestions in here too. And maybe I'll make out like a little codex style document with all of these rules and ship that out.
That'd be fun. Yeah, dude. And then we can have like a super asterisk on it where it's like the amount of difference between normal and legends is the same gap between legends and this, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, I think this is gonna be fun. Admittedly, I play Custodes, so I'm happy to bake my own goodies any day of the week, right?
We're gonna need Poorhammer for this. Look, I would love to have Poorhammer for this. Maybe we'll get them to review this. We'll send this to them, and we'll be like, "Here, what do you think?"
Yeah,
this is
that would be funny.
We'll let Brad rip it to
this is the start of Slamhammer 40K.
Yeah.
Our 40K spinoff.
Yeah. Poor Slammer.
Yeah.
All right. So every good detachment needs a detachment rule. So, starting with the Bully Boys detachment, we have "The Boss is watching." At the start of a battle round in which you have not called a WOG, if you have one or more war boss models on the battlefield, or embarked within a transport that is on the battlefield, you can call a WOG for a second time this battle. When doing so, that second WOG only counts as having been called for war boss, knobs, and mega knobs units from your army. So, I like the idea of having something that targets a specific, I guess, like subset of units, right? A kind of limited ability that only affects, I don't know, Terminators?
Yeah, I almost think that I'm just checking on a few keyword heroes real quick. I almost think that one way that we could do this, because all right, so basically there's a Custodes detachment that basically has their own WA, and I'm trying to remember the rules for it right now, but
the update to Shield Host.
Yeah, so Shield Host
exactly. I don't know if we should do that same kind of thing though. So I don't think we should be limited to doing this once per game, right? Or I guess twice per game. I think. So my thought for this is, at the start of each of your command phases, you pick one shield captain or Alaris Terminators unit from your army, and they get some kind of buff until your next command phase.
Interesting. Okay. I like that, and if we made it to where you just need to be a character, then, and you can't choose that character again for the rest of the game, you know what I mean? So it's like individual valor going from character to character, but it's like it's basically on the model, or if we want to really make it spicy, on the unit, including the model that is being the node for it.
I think
but
just
like
doing characters makes it too broad, right?
Okay.
Because I think like the Blade Champion doesn't really need buffs. It's already really fucking good. And I guess it would apply to Sisters also, if you're taking Sisters characters, which isn't necessarily a good or bad thing.
So I think if you called out the Shield Captain keyword, that's going to include the Alaris Terminator Shield Captain, the Vanilla Shield Captain, the new Shield Captain model, and the Shield Captain on Dawn Eagle jet bike. And so that leaves off Valoris, who is, like, I think he's going to be a big problem child if we put too many wombo combos in there. If you're able to funnel it into Valoris or onto the Blade Master, you're going to have some unintended reactions.
Yeah, so I think we intentionally exclude those.
Yeah.
By putting it on Shield Captains and Alaris Terminator units.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. So let's say at the start of each of your command phases, you can select one Shield Captain, I guess, capital C? Captain, or Alaris Terminators unit from your army. Alright, and then what kind of buff would we get there? So I do kind of like the Ork WOG, and that it gives you a little bit of an offensive buff and a little bit of a defensive buff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how you make Custodes more defensive without it being a lot. Besides maybe giving them like a 6-up Feeling of Pain?
The Feeling of Pain's interesting. You could also go with Armor of Contempt, or the Blade Guard Veterans reroll ones to save, is what I was thinking.
Reroll ones to save is cool.
Yeah.
I almost wonder if that is a little too oppressive too, because like against 0 AP stuff, you're rerolling all failed saves.
Yeah,
that's true.
It'd be pretty powerful, especially if you're standing in cover, which is really easy to get in 10th.
I almost like an Armor of Contempt effect. the bully boys basically have a what is it? They have a stratagem
They
that's
have an
pretty
armor
much
of
armor of
contempt
contempt, right?
stratagem, yeah.
And
Hulk
you know, armor of contempt is definitely workaroundable, and that would mean that high AP. So currently, if you've got AP 3 or 4 and you shoot at Custodes, you're wasting at least 1 or 2 points of AP. Armor of contempt would make those weapons still max out versus Custodes like focused fire or like anti-vehicle, anti-elite. But it would be appealing to the Custodes because one way around some of the stuff is like just mass volume of trash attacks, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this would help the Custodes, but it also means that dedicated stuff is still going to cut through it, you know?
Yeah, anything that's like AP3, AP4
Mm-hmm.
is still going to be at least putting them off of their armor save.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we can go until the start of your next command phase. That unit gains the feeling or no, not feeling pain. That unit, how is it worded in this? Each time an attack targets that unit. Okay, yeah, I mean we can pretty much just copy and paste that.
Are you wanting chat to see this document or not? Because it looks like on the stream they aren't able to see it, at least from my preview window.
Chat, do you see this document?
I can see it.
It looks like
on
they
the
see
stream.
it to me.
Oh shit! What the hell am I looking at then?
I don't know what you're looking at.
On the I'm talking about like on the YouTube stream. Like I got a tab.
I'm looking at it on YouTube. Yeah.
I've got it pulled up and it's on there.
Are you just like way
Okay,
behind?
I don't think so. Mine is. That's interesting. Okay, whatever.
Yeah. Each time an attack targets worsen the AP by 1, and then for like our offensive bonus, what if we did something where critical hits are on 5s instead of 6s? So that way you're benefiting from your kata on a 5-up instead of a 6-up.
Oh hell yeah, that leans into it. That's
synergizing. Lethal or sustained.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So in
that's bussin'.
addition, each time a model in that unit makes an attack, makes a melee attack, a critical hit is scored a hit roll of a 5+. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So this would only be benefiting
one unit.
Your captains and your terminators.
Only one unit. So you pick one
only
of your
one
shield
unit.
captain or terminator units.
Yeah.
So you don't. It's not all shield captains or terminators because you could make that just your entire army.
Mm-hmm.
So you pick one of the units. It kind of like encourages Death Starring a little bit, but I don't know that that's necessarily a bad thing for Custodes, to be honest.
Custodes are already kind of having to do that anyway, and they turned off the ability to take 10-man chunks. You're down to 4 and 5-man bricks for all the fun stuff. Yeah. So, do we want to have the you can only select this model once per game thing, or is that too much?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think there's any reason to limit it to that. Because if like there's one unit that you just keep picking, then eventually your opponent is just going to be like, I'm just going to try and kill that thing.
Right, that needs to be the thing that
do
the
my
opponent
best.
should be
I'm going to focus down that unit.
Yeah.
All right, so we have to name this. I feel like the easy way to name this is just the Emperor is watching.
I like that.
But that's the easy.
Okay.
Once we're done, we're going to name the entire detachment. Cool.
The
So
Emperor's bullies.
our new detachment rule, the Emperor is watching. At the start of each of your command phases, you can select one shield captain or Alaris Terminators unit from your army. Until the start of your next command phase, each time an attack targets your unit, so it targets that unit. Worsen the armor penetration characteristic of that attack by 1. In addition, each time a model in that unit makes a melee attack, a critical hit is scored on a hit roll of a 5+. Yeah?
Yeah, I'm digging it.
That seems pretty cool to me.
Yeah.
Alright, so now we get into the fun stuff. Enhancements. Teleporta. We probably don't need anything like this. Because Terminator's
Yeah, all
already
of them
deep
have
strike.
deep strike.
Yeah.
So that's not a big
What
deal.
about like a scout move or something?
Okay.
Scout could be.
I'm just trying to think of something it's also mobility. To replace mobility ability.
Oh, what's it called? A Castellan effect, where you're able to redeploy up to 3 models, and you can put them in strategic reserves instead. That was another thing I was thinking of.
Okay, so we can say, oh no, here we can still use this, right? So we give this. We can say that this can only be taken by shield captains, right? Non-Terminator shield captains.
Oh, they already have deep strike.
All of them? The whole army has deep strike?
Yeah. Except for the bikes might still have it. Deep strike on them. Let me double check a few
Holy
more.
shit. The whole army has deep strike. That's crazy.
Yeah, the bikes are missing it. The sisters are missing it, but
okay.
all
right.
Banana Boys have deep strike.
I didn't.
It literally does nothing.
Okay. All right. Never mind. This is why we have you here.
Hell yeah.
Okay. So I do like the redeploy. So
that
what's
might already
there's
exist.
There's a Gene Stealer cult one.
Oh yeah.
That does that. So that's just the Primus, I think. So let me pull up the Primus data sheet and see how that's worded.
It's in Tyranids too. Alien Cunning, I think, is a redeploy, but
so we can say
it's probably the same.
Shield Captain model only. Your army. We can just say after both players have deployed their armies, select up to 3 shield captain or Lars Terminators units. Lars Terminators units and redeploy them. When doing so, you can set those units up in strategic reserves if you wish, regardless of how many units are already in strategic reserves. I think that's cool.
Yeah, I'm a fan.
What do we call that? We need a name for that.
In 9th edition, this sort of effect was called the Mark of the Castellan, or the Castellan's Mark, or something like that. But
we can use that. Because I mean, unless something like that exists in 10th edition, but I don't know.
Shoot, I'm gonna have to check some of the.
Mark,
yeah.
You just do something like the Wings of Vigilance or something. I don't know. For using.
I don't know.
Like,
We should do
transport.
3. 3 seems like a lot.
Yeah, I mean, you can pull it
Maybe
down to 2, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, because with custodians, they might only have 3.
Yeah, let's give them the old
That's a spicy
Castellan's
list.
Mark.
They're usually sitting around 7 or 8 units, if I'm tracking right.
Bork.
I apologize if you can hear the dog.
That's okay.
No, they'll be just fine.
Cool. So we got Castellan's Mark. Let's go with the next one. I mean, if you guys are cool with this one, I mean, I think this is pretty rad.
All
right.
I sign off on it.
Cool. Brian, you sign off on this? Maybe.
You there, homie?
Jordan?
Me?
Ryan?
Ryan?
Can you
Are
hear
you
us?
talking to me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I said I sign off.
Oh, okay.
We didn't hear it.
I missed it too.
All right, so moving on, we're gonna replace the big gob. So currently, infantry war boss model only. At the start of the fight phase, select one enemy unit with an engagement range of the bearer. That unit must take a battle shock test, and when doing so, subtract 1 from the result. I don't hate that as just like a direct port, right? Because that can be like a pretty cheap, like 10, 15 point enhancement.
Let me double check and make sure that doesn't already happen somewhere. I can't remember what edition it was, but there's something that has a similar effect, and I can't remember what the name of it is.
It
but
sounds like something the sisters might have.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
But sisters wouldn't be benefiting from this.
Correct.
Yeah, sisters. The Knight Centura kind of has an ability like this.
Yeah, it triggers when they fall back from her. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good ability.
Nice. So we can just change this to Shield Captain model only. At the start of the fight phase, select one, blah, 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 with an engagement range of the bearer's unit.
You're gonna tie everything to like just the shield captain?
Yeah, I mean that's like the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
Well, that
most of the
one in particular was like infantry character, right?
No, it was infantry war boss.
Infantry war boss. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's basically a beast boss and the war boss that you could attach that to. Yeah, but the whole thing with this is like doing shit with your shield captains and your terminators. But the only Terminator character is a shield captain, so shield captain model only. I think that's pretty good.
I have an idea for a enhancement, and
okay.
It's pretty wild. So
let's change this one because I think adding 2 wounds to a Custodes character is going to be too much. So let's just change this one altogether.
All right. So
yeah, get that out of there.
There's a lot of really crazy things that are able to come in from deep strike 3 inches away, but it turns off your ability to charge.
Mm-hmm.
I think that something like that would be absolutely bonkers. It keeps the Custodian from charging, though, which keeps it from, kind of like caps it, and it makes for kind of like a level 2 big brain move with rapid ingress, right? Now, you don't give that to them for free. You make them still pay for the rapid ingress, but you get them coming in within 3 inches. So it really allows Allarus Custodians to do even better what kind of their game plan is already.
Okay. I wonder if we should limit that to just the Terminators.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because I think having like a big fucking blob of Custodian Guard popping into your backfield is going to be too much. Right. So you could probably limit that to just being able to attach to the Allarus
Terminator Shield Captain only. Yeah.
Shield Captain and Allarus Terminator armor. So we'll go Shield Captain and Allarus Terminator armor model only. Why is datasheet names so long? So let's check how these rules are typically worded.
The demons have one.
GSC has one right here.
Oh yeah, you nuke my ass with it every single time with those damn grenades.
Yeah, tunnel
the demolition charges. Yeah, it's rough.
Yeah.
So when this model is set, when this model arrives on the battlefield using the deep strike ability. Because Allarus can uppy downy though, right?
Yes, they can. So yeah, I guess you're getting to
when this model. The first time this model arrives on the battlefield.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
Strike. Using the deep strike ability, its unit can be set up anywhere on the battlefield that is more than 3 inches away horizontally from all enemy models. If set up this way to this unit is not, let's go, this unit is not eligible to declare a charge in the same turn that it arrives this way. Yeah, I think that works.
I dig it. Yeah.
Oh, we gotta name these. All right. What do we name the Battle Shock one?
Ooh. The Lion's Roar.
The Lion's Roar. Oh, that's kind of alright. Okay.
Why a lion?
So there's another rule that that I really like the flavor of this one. It's called Unleash the Lions. It's where you could deep strike in a brick of Alaris Terminators and pay 1 command point, and they all become units of 1, and so they all just like scatter. It's called Unleash the Lions. I always love the shit out of that, man.
Lion's Roar. I dig that.
And they all, I think a few of them have like lion shields, kind of in some of their
yeah.
decor. Isn't Trajan wearing a lion pelt?
He has
too?
a lion pelt over his shoulder.
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. What do we call this Terminator one? Oh, what is this?
I'm not as up to date on custodian lore.
All right. What is Fulminaris? Oh, this goes on Praetor models. Okay.
So, from Golden Light They Come, I think is an ability already, or it was in, I think, the 8th edition codex. And so this one could be called Blinding Golden Light, or Golden Light Blinding, or something. I don't know. Although enhancements are usually more like devices, like tangible things. So
yeah.
Maybe Archaeotech transponder, or what are the homing beacon things called?
I mean, it's just called a teleport homer.
Yeah, Archaeotech teleport homer, maybe. I don't know.
All right, yeah, that's good. All right, and then one more to round us out. I think Wardens already have this ability, right?
Yeah, they do.
No, this isn't it. Wardens have the thing where if the strength is higher than the toughness, then they re-roll the saves.
Oh yeah. They have the defensive ones. I honestly, my brain just read it as the Warden ability.
Mine did too. If it's below starting strength, re-roll a wound roll of 1. If it's below half strength, you can re-roll the wound roll instead.
I'll be honest with you, I probably wouldn't take this.
You wouldn't?
Nah, because Custodes are usually killing whatever they get in melee with anyway. So, like, this would just never trigger for me.
This is gonna, like, help you pop down, like, vehicles and shit, right?
That is true. Yeah, it does help when you're trying to carve up a turkey, for sure. But honestly, all of the enhancements don't need to be bangers, right? We don't want, like, every single one of them to be out of the park. So, I think this one is more of a niche use, absolutely. And it would help Castellan axes, actually, now that I think about it. And no one's using the axes. So, I'm growing on it.
Yeah. It just took talking about it for a second.
Honestly, yeah. I probably still wouldn't buy this unless I had points hanging out afterwards. I think this is probably like a 15er if I had to guess on points. But
I feel like this is pretty strong. Being able to reroll all wounds against something that is below half strength. So that feels pretty strong to me.
It's hard to. I'm trying to think of like instances where I've like dashed damage around a little bit and then I go in to finish it. I don't know. Like, and then I wasn't already going to kill it. It's a little bit of an overkill enhancement, but I think that's where some of its niche use comes from anyway. So I think 10 or 15 points is probably where this should sit. But
we should probably give these all points values, huh? So yeah, we can just straight up change boss to shield captain and yeah. What do we call this? I'm trying to look at the ones from like 9th edition. Obliteratum? That's pretty rad. That was the name of a grenade launcher.
It was, yeah. Dude, oh my god, I loved Obliteratum. It was so good. What are some other...
Wrath Angelus? That's pretty rad.
Oh, I do like that, actually. Oh, all right, so here we go. Wrath
like
Behamor. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because Behamor is like one of the fighting styles that you can do.
One of the katas.
No. That's one of the...
It's one of the swords
sword
on
wizard, the Blade Wizard swords, yeah.
Yeah, he carries a weapon called... one of his modes is called Behamor, or Behamor.
I think that's how you spell it.
And, yeah, this punishes stuff that's bad and above.
On the wiki, it lists Behamor as one of the katas. This kata's clinical strikes prevent even the toughest hide or armored hull from withstanding the Blade Champion's blows.
Blade Champion.
That's what it says.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the guy.
Yeah.
It isn't the...
they have it listed as a kata.
I guess maybe in the lore it's a kata, but on the tabletop it's not.
Yeah, it's just like one of the modes he picks with his weapons, I'm pretty sure.
Behamor. Okay, yeah, I spelled it right.
I think some
Maybe
of
this should
the
be
according to
Wrath
this, some of
Victus,
the
right? 'Cause
katas
it seems more like
are
Victus.
only used by the Blade Champions.
Maybe he has Behamor, Huracanus, and Victus are his 3 modes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not sure about
Victus
the lore
is the
on
one
the
that does
Blade
devastating
Champion.
wounds, so maybe that's the one that makes more sense for this kind of thing.
Oh.
In the wiki, it says Victus is used by champions that claim the lives of countless tyrants and warlords.
There you go.
So I don't know if that fits.
Sure.
I don't know the names of all the... Are there katas that just aren't represented in the tabletop?
Yeah, like I think some of them are abilities on specific characters because in the lore, like only like Blade Champions learn certain katas. Like there's Huracanus, which
yeah, that's again on the Blade Champion.
Blade Champions use to carve their way through enemy ranks in a blur of blade and blood.
Oh, some katas are specifically only used by Blade Champions. Okay. Yeah, Behamor, Huracanus.
That's why they're
and
not
Victus
like...
are only... Callistus, they got rid of... What's the one that they deleted? Rendax? I think that's the one that they deleted out of the thing.
I think Rendax is the one that's lethal hits now. I'm trying to remember what the...
Captaris is the one that they got rid of.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the KG one.
What about Salvus? It's used by Custodes in battle where they want to ensure their foes are killed. I feel like that fits this.
There we go.
According on this, it says Masters of Salvus are preternaturally skilled marksmen with any form of ranged weaponry.
Oh my god.
It is Salvus like salvo. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right, we'll just stay with
True.
Victus. That seems good.
I would use Huracanus or Victus.
Huracanus
is like yeah. It makes me think of like clearing
sustained
out
hits would be more Huracanus.
Yeah.
So maybe Salvus.
Yeah.
Victus. Oh, should we limit this to melee attacks?
I mean Victus. God.
So this is only going on shield captains. It's only one gun because it would be for the model, right? So helping out the single gun on the model ain't a bad idea in my opinion. But
yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
From a lore perspective, it would make sense for it to be melee, based on what I'm reading here.
Yeah. Nah, that's fine. Cool. I think I like these enhancements.
I'm digging them, man.
Chat, what do you think? What do you think about our enhancements here?
The Ratatouille scatter. that's what Nintendo player called the Unleash the Lion stratagem that I was telling y'all about. It always did remind me of the John Mulaney bit where he's talking about like how he's
throw the
underage
bottle
drinking.
down, scatter.
Yeah, scatter. Dude, that shit was so dope because you would get like 5 chances to charge
He
something.
like talks
and,
about
like,
how he was at a party and they were underage drinking and shit, and then the cops show up and one of them throws down a bottle. He's like, scatter.
they all just like sprint in random directions. So.
Yeah, I think Salvis was probably the double shoot kata.
Oh, I believe it.
Either Salvis or
just search because I have it pulled up right now. Salvis.
Callistus.
Adds 4 inches to the range of ranged units and shoot twice with auric weapons in stance 2. I forgot there were like different stances and shit in 9th edition.
Yeah. You had to build your deck.
Yeah.
Like a Necron. Oh my god, 9th edition was so intricate, dude. I'm thinking back every once in a while.
Decks, you had to have decks for your katas. Necrons had to have them for their like command protocol orders.
Yeah. It was a wacky time.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I dig these. Points. What are you thinking for points? So I think this is like 15 points.
Yeah, I like it.
Deep strike within 3 inches. I don't know, it's a 20-pointer because that's going on only the one model. It is strong. How many models is max for Alaris Terminators?
Ooh, I want to say.
I just put the points out today, so I can pull those up.
Alaris Custodians,
6.
you can take a brick of up to 2 to 6. Yeah.
So you could. This would have potentially be affecting 7 Terminator models.
Yep.
That's actually really fucking good.
I'd say either 20 or 25 for that one.
Yeah, I think this is a 25-pointer. The Lion's Roar, the Battle Shock one, I don't know, that's a 10er.
Yeah. Yeah, you want something to... You want to have its steps, right? Because there's always like a big spender, and then there's always like a little rinky-dink one.
Redeploy, being able to put more shit in Deep Strike, I think is really good.
Yeah. I'd say 20 for that one.
I think 20?
And because the Archaeotech Teleport Homer is like a whole like mega trick. I think that's a bigger trick than Castellan's Mark. Let me see what the Tyranids have theirs as, because I know that
Archaeotech, though,
I'll probably put it at 25.
One unit, one unit is benefiting from that, and it's once per game.
Yeah, but I mean,
this
so
you're
is
touching,
this one,
you're
right?
touching 3 different units with it.
Yeah,
I thought we
I'll
brought it
put
down
at
to
25 at least.
You're potentially affecting 2, maybe 3 turns of the game, right?
So Tyranids have their invasion fleet one, Alien Cunning.
Mm-hmm.
It is priced at 30 points. So I would say probably 25 or 30 for this.
I would put it higher.
But
for this one.
it's 3. It's
yeah,
3.
It is 3 units versus 2 units.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I would be okay calling this 25. No, I think 30.
I would do at least 25, maybe 30.
I think 30.
Okay.
Because I'm trying to think about like the value that you're getting from 3 Tyranids units versus 2 Custodes units.
Yeah, like the Custodes units.
I think even 2 Custodes units is definitely going to be like better value than 3 Terminators units, without a doubt.
That's fair. Yeah.
So, yeah. All right. So there's our enhancements.
I dig it.
We have
like
it 10,
Hey.
15, 25, 30. Yeah, we got like a good variance here.
Yeah. Halfway done, baby. Look at that.
Yeah. So we got our detachment roll. We got our enhancements. Let's move on to stratagems. This is going to be probably a little rough. We'll figure it out. So the first one that Bully Boys have. Oh, so any ones that I marked green means they're battle tactics.
Okay. And that is important because the each of the shield captains has an ability where they can use a free stratagem. So you And the thing that has a lot of Custodes players groaning right now is that some of the detachments don't have any battle tactic stratagems. So the free stratagem that they're able to get is usually just a reroll, because there's kind of no reason for you to have go to ground for free on your custodians. So it's like, okay, I guess he just has a reroll for free.
Yeah.
So having like 2 battle tactics in here that kind of like bait into the shit, what is it called? They have a specific name for it. Like it's a master of something. Martial inspiration, I think.
That sounds right. Yeah. It's whatever
Actually,
it's
no,
called on
that's
Space
true.
Marine captains.
Yeah. Strategic mastery. Strategic mastery is the freebie. So. But anyway, yeah, like 2 battle tactics is
Yeah.
probably
So this one has 3, but we can reclassify some stuff if we need to.
totally.
So first one we have for Bully Boys is Armed to the Teeth. Is a 1 CP stratagem in your shooting phase or the fight phase. Currently, it is 1 Knobs or Mega Knobs unit from your army that has not been selected to shoot or fight until the end of the phase. Each time a model in your unit makes an attack, reroll a hit roll of 1. If the WOG is active, you can reroll the hit roll instead. So, I don't know if Custodes need that. Because you're basically always hitting on 2s anyway.
Yeah, they're looking for 2s pretty much.
Do they have much in the way of like sustained hits or anything like that?
The melee profile or the
in melee, yeah.
So,
but not in shooting.
What about
not in shooting?
What about the wound roll? Because they're shooting in
So re-rolling a wound roll of 1.
Yeah.
And then if you're under the effect,
that's the same as the
Emperor's watching.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically the same as the Wrath of Victus.
But the Wrath of Victus only applies to 1 model.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this would allow you to spend a command point to give it to an entire unit for a phase.
Yeah. And that would encourage not just Alaris spam, but it would lean really well into the Custodian Guard datasheet, which actually, hold on, they might just have the same thing. So let's see here. Where is the Custodian Guard datasheet? Have I missed it entirely? There it is. So if we did it for wounds, that's literally just the same ability as the Custodian Guard's Stand Vigil, where they're re-rolling wound roll of 1 on an objective, or they're re-rolling a wound roll of 1, and if they're on an objective model, they're re-rolling the entire wound roll. So it's a literal non-bow for Custodian Guard.
Yeah, I don't know if we want to create non-bows with like the core unit of the army.
Yeah. Right, the box that...
Granted, this like whole detachment is leaning more into the Terminators, but
true.
Also shield captains, which you can obviously put with Custodian Guard.
Reroll a hit roll of 1.
I mean, like, what is oh, here we go. What is...
We could improve
Tyler
AP.
Shadwell. So what about sustained hits slash lethal hits in shooting and crits on 4s if under the Emperor's gaze, or would that warrant an increase to 2 CP? Okay.
Crits on 4s
crits on 4s is a lot.
Bit...
Probably wouldn't do that. Because right now, the way we have... I guess we could call that the Emperor's Gaze. I kind of like that. That's kind of cool. The Emperor's Gaze. There you go. So currently, the way that we have this worded is that the melee attacks crit on 5s. So we could make this Salvis, right? So we could make this the Salvis Kata.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
And so each time, so we wouldn't need this in the fighting phase. So your shooting phase. 1 shield captain or Lars Terminators from your unit that has not been selected to shoot. Until the end of the phase, each time a model in your unit makes an attack. Let's see, makes a ranged attack. Reroll a roll of 1, so we'll change this to that attack, or yeah, that attack. Fuck, how is this worded? Has the
That weapon gains sustained hits 1 or something.
Yeah, that weapon gains the sustained hits 1 ability if that unit is benefiting from the Emperor's gaze. Ranged attacks from that unit score critical hits on hit rolls of 5+.
Hell yeah.
So this way,
Yeah, that's dope.
you're putting it on whatever unit. Just gives them sustained in shooting. Because do Custodes have much access to sustained in shooting?
No. So the shooting is usually in the form of like the Guardian Spear and the Guardian Axe. I'm pretty sure have the same profile. 2 attacks, BS2, Strength 4, AP1, 2 damage. So you're really getting about 10 shots with that. And the AP1 goes away almost immediately because everything has cover in this game. So
Yeah.
sustained hits, it does pretty well with that.
So yeah, I mean, we can just call this Salvis.
I love it.
1
I dig it.
CP, 1 shield captain, or Alaris. So the one thing that this concerns me a little bit on is the what are they called?
the Forge War guys?
The Terminators grenade launchers.
Oh, yeah, what is that
'Cause
profile
that's
again?
a lot. I mean, D6 attacks, blast, hitting on 2s, 4/1/1. I mean, I guess against anything that
Yeah.
matters, is that profile is basically already deleting like anything that is gonna be severely hurt by it, right? So like cultists and like cultist equivalents are already gonna be just fucking deleted by the current profile, so I guess this doesn't change that much.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really good, and it's something that would encourage like shooting a lot. You know, like shooting positioning and everything. But I don't think it's broken per se.
Yeah.
Especially because at the end of the day, with the grenade launcher specifically, it's still strength 4 AP1 1 damage. So it's not going to be like, you know, it doesn't have lethal hits or anything. It's not going to be taken out. Knights, basically a lot of stuff is going to be fishing.
It's just gonna get better against like infantry for the most part.
Yeah.
Which is what Salvus should do, I think. Cool. Yeah, I like that.
Love it. Hell yeah, bro.
Oh, they do have sustained / lethal hits for shooting in the shield host detachment. Well, this isn't the shield host detachment, so that's fine, I guess.
We're just cribbing it.
I mean, there's a lot of armies with detachments that just like borrow stratagems and shit from each other, so yeah, I don't remember what they changed with shield host specifically. I would have to look again. I think Goonhammer did a Custodes review, right? Yeah. Oh, that's it. Index. Here we go. Shield host. Okay, so it's their WOG, gets you crits on 5s and improve AP by 1 once per game. That's very similar, actually. That's funny.
I guess we are game designers.
We are
Yeah.
game designers.
You know, I'm something of a game designer myself.
Oh, there's an enhancement called Castellan's Mark.
Oh, shit. Oh, I guess that one did make it to 10th, didn't it? All right.
Oh, and it's redeployed to Custodes units.
What's the points cost on it?
I don't know. I'd have to pull up the point stock. Hold on. Unitorum Field Manual.
We
I'm
have to
wondering
know.
how.
Adeptus
Yeah,
Custodes.
because this is a good metric.
Enhancements. We're looking for Shield Host, Castellan's Mark, 30 points. Let's fucking
Damn.
go, baby! Let's fucking go, baby!
We're certified game designers.
Confirmed game designers.
That's how bad this book is. We're accidentally making it, and this is our first attachment ever designed. Oh my god.
We'll just keep it. It's just the same. Whatever.
Yeah, fuck it. Yeah, we stole it.
I don't give a shit.
More, they can take the Castle's Mark too. Why not?
Yeah.
Where did they? Oh, Panopta specs gives the bearers ranged weapons, ignores cover. I don't. I'm trying to see where they get sustained. Oh, here we go. Archaeotech munitions lets a single non-sisters unit gain lethal hits or sustained hits in the shooting phase. Okay.
And improve AP by 1.
I think our version of it's fine for this detachment
Yeah.
specifically, because we also
Yeah,
get the little benefit from the Emperor's gaze.
Sure enough.
It's okay to get a little
Cool.
bit from the Emperor occasionally as a treat.
That's a treat. Salvis, yeah, let's keep that as a battle tactic. I think so.
Beautiful. Yeah, I think like one offensive and then one defensive battle tactic stratagem is probably like the sweet spot. Because if you do 3 of them, then it's like, you know, they can do half of their detachment stratagems for free. I think 2's the sweet spot.
And especially on a detachment built around shield captains, right?
All right. I'm thinking ahead, and I'm thinking as a custodian that had a lot of tools taken away from him. There is one that I would like to just straight up bring back. All right. This is definitely a 2 command pointer, and it's arcane genetic alchemy. It's subtract 1 damage from the characteristics of attacks coming in. Now, current custodians fights first probably shouldn't be on the table with the blender that they are, but the fact that they're losing fights first and they're losing -1 damage is like,
Okay.
it sucks, man. So I was looking at Too Arrogant to Die, and I think that kind of fits that concept. Fight on death.
This is a fight on death.
Okay.
I kind of want to keep a fight on death. I think that that's a good. I think that's a good alternative to a fights first.
Okay. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Probably instead of making it a 5-up fights on death, you make it like a 3-up fights on death.
I can dig that. Yeah.
Yeah. So we can.
And you
can
could
come back
keep
and
the name
revisit
Too
that
Arrogant
one.
to Die.
True.
I do like that actually.
Cut them down. I actually really like this one for Custodes too.
Mm-hmm.
You can basically just force an opponent to take a desperate escape test when they fall back from you.
Yeah.
I kind of like that. That seems good for this detachment.
You call the
Oh,
long
hulking
arm of the law.
I do. Well, let's
Hulking
just get rid
Brutes
of
is already
Hulking
big.
Brutes. Let's just get rid of
Yeah.
Hulking Brutes. So we.
Would that be a
call
good one to
this
replace with
something
Arcane
else.
Genetic Alchemy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
Honestly.
should probably not call it Arcane Genetic
'Cause
Alchemy
it's-
because that's an existing.
The Emperor's
stratagem.
Divine Design. How about that?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm trying to get as close as possible to Arcane Genetic Alchemy.
I don't know. Do you still have something called like Aegis of the Emperor?
Oh, that I think is the
Aegis Projector is the thing. There is no
Ooh.
Aegis of the Emperor that I can find on the Goonhammer article, at least. So, yeah.
Send it.
Aegis,
Hell
Aegis
yeah,
of
dude.
the Emperor.
Let's do it.
Okay, so we go your opponent's shooting phase, or the fight phase. Just after an enemy has selected his targets. Yeah, that makes sense to me. 1 shield captains or large terminators. From your army that was selected as the target of one or more of the attacking unit's attacks. Until the end of the phase, each time an attack targets your unit, worsen the damage characteristic of that attack by 1.
Absolutely. And then, should we add the old 9th edition thing where it's like parentheses to a minimum of 1, just to keep the newbies from thinking that...
No, that's in the core rules now.
Alright.
Now, it would be cool to have this interact with the Emperor's Gaze in some way, right? So what if we did... In addition, if this unit is benefiting from the Emperor's Gaze, that unit also has a 6-up Feel No Pain.
Or stealth. You could do stealth too if we want to emphasize the.
Or benefits from cover.
The problem is, like, both of those things don't work in melee.
That's true.
Mm.
A 6-up Feel No Pain. I'm not opposed to it. It's.
I think any higher than a 6-up, and I start to get concerned.
It non-bows
a
with the
6-up is good.
Warden once per game, but the Wardens are just really good anyway. People are gonna be spamming those. They don't need help.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's fine. Because it's only once per game on the Wardens, right? And this is, you can use it
Twice per game,
every
basically.
phase.
Oh, excuse me, every phase, yeah. Hell yeah, send it.
All right, so if the
Tyler Shadwell says, "What if it's just reducing your EP by 1 flat out?"
Oh yeah, that's another option. Fewer dice rolls too.
yeah, I mean that's literally what we just changed it from, right?
Because the golden light is doing that already, right? Is that
I think that's like rough on Custodes, right? Because you're already on 2-up save, 4-up invuln across the entire army.
Mm-hmm.
So as much as I like the reduce AP by
Yeah, I think 6-up Feel No Pain is probably better.
Sure.
I like that. Also, like they lost like a Feel No Pain, right? So it'd be nice to have something that gives a little taste of that back.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now watch that get patched back in with the next balanced data slate.
Well, this is a 6-up Feel No Pain versus all
versus everything.
damage
It's not
straight
just
up.
mortals
Yeah,
and dev. Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah.
So if the target
They
unit
wouldn't patch
is-
something in to invalidate our detachment, would they?
They would never. They're watching right now, and they're gonna add this detachment to the balanced data slate.
Dude, I would love if G-Dub just stole this shit. That would be so much fun.
Yeah, if
Oh
the
my
codex
God.
drops and it's got a 5th detachment and it's the Emperor's watching or whatever.
Instant. Oh my
you
God,
know.
we have cred for a decade.
Then I'll expect a nightmare kill team box, please. Send me one.
If target is benefiting from the Emperor's Gaze until the end of the phase.
You were talking about the Alaris
Also,
Custodians? Oh,
Yeah, what about him?
well, what was the one that you were saying that like already had this ability?
The Wardens.
the Wardens. Wardens
Yeah,
have
once
a
per
per
game.
4-up Feel No Pain.
For the phase, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Aegis.
Would you be...
But,
So
I mean,
this is a really...
They
What's up?
they wouldn't be able to be targeted by this stratagem anyway, right?
If
Well,
you
you
had
could
a shield
attach-
I guess
captain attached
if
to it.
they had a shield captain. I don't know.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is really strong at one command point. I don't think it's busted at one command point, but I think either one command point or battle tactic and 2 command points is probably fitting. What do you think?
See, I think this is a war gear stratagem, right?
Oh yeah,
No, I'm good with it. 2 CP battle tactic.
beautiful.
That seems good to me.
Yeah. Are all the other ones 1 CP right now?
Every other stratagem is 1 CP.
Yeah, and
Gotta have some
usually
2 CPers in there.
yeah, most factions have I think like 1 or 2 CP stratagems. Tyranids have 1.
I don't remember seeing any 3 CP stratagems this edition yet.
I haven't. Yeah, I haven't seen any at all.
I can't think of one. That'd be wild.
Or if something gets vected,
Not-
I guess
8th
it's
and 9th
3
edition
CP.
had 3 CP. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, but
Imagine
that's
having
like
to pay 4 CP for a stratagem.
fucking
Yeah.
blow my brains out.
if
dude.
someone made me pay 4 CP for a stratagem, we would cease to be friends. I'd be mad.
So this one is the mortal wounds on the charge. Now you were saying that there's something that already has this.
I was trying to look that up. I think I'm misremembering something because it's not on. It's not even on their dreadnought. For some reason, I thought it might have been on their bikes or on the Terminators, but the Terminators are able to up, down,
It's
and they're
on the
rerolling wound rolls.
Contemptor Achilles Dreadnought.
I mean, that might have been an old version, right? Because the Praetors now have like lance, don't they? No, they don't.
New praetors have
Do they have
lance.
They do. They do have lance, and so
Yeah.
they might have in 9th edition had this ability, and it got replaced by just having lance.
It's the Contemptor Achilles Dreadnought.
Oh, the Achilles has this. Well,
Achilles?
then
Oh,
that's-
not Achilles. Yeah.
But that's also Forge World.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Forge World.
It's
and
each
that
time this
wouldn't-
model is selected to fight, you can select one enemy with engagement. Roll a d6. Add 2 to the result if the model made a charge. On a 4 to 5, it's d3 mortal wounds. On a 6+, it's 3 mortal wounds.
Okay. Yeah, so I mean,
It
this
also has
wouldn't be able to be affected by this stratagem anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This.
Because tank
So
shock's
I
just
don't
better
think
than
it's-
that, I think.
Yeah, but you could do that and tank shock, right? Yeah, on the
Yeah.
Yeah, we could just lock this to infantry
Like-
instead.
Yeah, so this is going to be pretty much all of these are going to be like shield captain or LR Terminator units only,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because that's
all
how
about
they
the big
that's how they do
boys.
these. They do these as just like all of your detachments only or all your stratagems only affect the target demographic
If you
whatever
have
fucking
boys.
unit. Yeah.
And actually, this has a good counter if it's really strong. It makes you want to bring a shitload of precision weapons because this army melts to precision. If you can start pulling out that captain, all these buffs
Yep.
go away. So I think
Assassins are
that's
back on the menu, boys.
yeah, boy. So I do like that as a like an Achilles heel to the detachment. For sure.
An Achilles heel.
An Achilles
Ooh.
heel.
Ooh.
Hey!
Damn! It's attached to my
brains are equally
Alorus
smooth.
ankle.
Just after a shield captain or Lars Terminators unit for your army ends a charge move. Select one enemy unit within engagement range of your unit, then roll 1d6 for each model in your unit that is within engagement range of that model or that unit. For each 5-up, that enemy suffers 1 mortal wound to a maximum of 6. If your unit is benefiting from the Emperor's gaze. Oh, my compressor's going off. Hell yeah.
Someone's ready to airbrush, baby.
I was like, what the
I
hell?
like never turn my compressor off.
And now we are
So every once in a while
switching
it just
into
goes weird.
a painting stream.
Oh, hey,
I've
don't
been
threaten
painting
me with a good
AOS,
time now.
baby.
Man,
I do have to paint a bunch of.
my
I
AOS
have to
up.
paint some Ludas for Monday. But anyway,
Luda.
So,
if the unit is benefiting from the Emperor's
Ludas.
gaze, that enemy unit suffers 1 mortal wound for each 4+ instead. Yeah, I mean I'm good with this. That
I
seems
love it.
fine.
Yeah, totally.
Crushing impact. What do we call
That
this?
name ain't that bad. What about Oromite Impact? Because their armor is made out of Oromite.
Is that like that? Did I spell that right?
I think the E is
A.
supposed to be an A. Yeah,
Oromite?
yeah, Oromite Impact.
Yep. Okay. Oromite impact. Yeah. Cool.
Beautiful.
Too arrogant to die. Fight on death, I think, is good. So I think maybe we make this a 3+ and we add 1 to the result. If they're under the effect of the Emperor's gaze.
Totally.
Your opponent's shooting phase or the fight phase just after an enemy has selected its targets. 1 shield captain or Lars
hilarious.
is selected as the
Hell yeah.
target of one or more of the attacking unit's attacks until the end of the phase. Each time a model is in your unit is destroyed. If that model has not shot or fought this phase, roll 1d6, adding 1 to the result if that unit is benefiting from the Emperor's gaze. On a 3+ or on a 2+ if they're under the Emperor's gaze, do not remove the destroyed model from play. It can shoot or fight after the attacking unit has finished making its attacks. Maybe 4. Maybe 4+.
Yeah, I was about to say 2 up is a little high.
Because 2-up is high. 4-up gives you a 50-50 shot when they're not under the Emperor's gaze. and it's like a
I like it.
57% chance when they are under the Emperor's gaze.
Sure.
Okay, cool. Yeah. All right.
Hell
Too
yeah.
arrogant to die. I do like that name, but we probably shouldn't just copy the name from a different faction altogether.
What about arrogance of the Imperium, or the Imperium's arrogance?
I feel like it's not
I don't think they
propaganda
would-
enough.
Yeah, I don't think they would put arrogance on it.
The Emperor's Retribution, or Auric Retribution.
Orc retribution, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think we've used Orc nearly enough. We have Ormite in there, I think, once.
What is the
Yeah.
Orc in reference to?
Gold.
Gold.
Oh,
I mean, the character detachment that exists right now is called Auric Champions, right?
That's true.
Right,
Auric
right,
is just
right.
like a word used for Custodes a lot.
Mhm.
Salvus or my impact or contribution. Straight up, I really like this one too.
Yeah.
So
It's pretty dope.
One Knobs or Mega Knobs unit. There's an engagement range of that enemy unit. If they try to fall back from you, they have to take a Desperate Escape test, and -1 if they're under the Emperor's gaze.
I love it.
So Desperate Escape currently is 1s or 2s. Models will start dying. I don't remember if it's mortal wounds or if a model dies. Oh, I think a model just straight up dies. 'Cause
Yeah.
it happens
Yeah,
on, like,
it's the
fucking
one that
knights and
hurts.
shit all the time.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so model straight
It
up
really
dies.
makes you think twice about falling back.
I do think that we should probably bump this one up to 2 CP.
I can see that, especially if it's pulling a whole model.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's almost like a melee Overwatch. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
kinda.
I would call it unyielding vigilance.
Oh, that's good.
Damn.
One shield captain.
I have
unit
my
from your-
moments.
One shield captain or engagement range with that enemy unit. When that enemy unit falls back, all units must take all models in that unit to get the escape test. When doing so, if your unit is benefiting from the Emperor's gaze, subtract 1 from each of those tests. That seems pretty sweet.
Hell yeah, man. And then there's
Always looking for a fight. So this is just like extra movement. It increases your consolidation range. Is that something that you think Custodes struggle with? I mean, I guess this is realistically, the lists on this are going to be a little bit more elite, probably.
yeah.
If you're going to be running
So,
like multiple Terminator units and shit.
Move blocking is something that Custodes are pretty susceptible to, and this allows you to navigate around it. So I do like that, especially because you're going to have less coverage per objective. So you're going to have like 1 or 2 models, 1 or 2 units dedicated to each objective, probably closer to 1 than 2 units. And so this just gives that unit significantly easier time moving around. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
I think it's a good one for like
a small.
for elite armies in general.
Oh yeah.
When shield captain or large Terminator unit from your army that destroyed that enemy unit. Until the end of the phase, each time your unit makes a consolidation move, it can move up to D3 plus 3 inches instead of up to 3. If your unit is from the Emperor's gaze, it can move up to 6 inches instead. And we call that
So Ceaseless Hunter is already a thing, but I like kind of like the tone of that. You know what I mean?
Let's see.
Ceaseless Hunter is good. I like that
Yeah, Ceaseless Hunter's pretty rad. We could do. Oh my god, I feel like I need to bust out a fucking thesaurus for these guys.
This is the last one. This is the last thing that we have to name.
Perpetual.
Pursuit. Perpetual pursuit.
What about?
Silly.
I do like pursuit, but alliteration might not be as intimidating as we want it to be.
Yeah,
Eternal
it kind of
pursuit.
takes something away from it.
Eternal pursuit.
Eternal pursuit. Boom. There we go.
I spell pursuit right? Yeah, that looks right.
Hell yeah. Dude.
Hell yeah. Yo, we just made
All
a
right,
detachment. Let's go back.
Let's
go
just
back through it all.
real quick from the top. Yeah.
All right, chat. Tell us how we did. So, detachment rule, the Emperor's Gaze. At the start of each of your command phases, you can select one Shield Captain or Alaris Terminator's unit from your army. Until the start of your next command phase, each time an attack targets that unit, worsen the armor penetration characteristic of that attack by 1. In addition, each time that model makes a melee attack, a critical hit is scored on a hit roll of a 5+. That's pretty good. I like that. So that's going to be affecting anything that you attach a Shield Captain to, or all of your Terminator units.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to make your Terminators way more fucking durable and hit harder in melee. That's strong. I like that.
Oh yeah.
Our enhancements, the one that just already exists and we fucking nailed it just from the top
yoink.
of our heads.
Yoinked it. Oh my god.
So that's good. The Lion's Roar, Shield Captain model only. At the start of the fight phase, select one enemy unit within engagement range of the bearer. That unit must take a battle shock test, and when doing so, subtract 1 from the result. That's good. I like that. That's a good little... I almost wonder if that should be a 15-pointer. No.
It's kind of...
I mean, Battle
you
Shock...
do want some pinpoint in it. Yeah, Battle Shock needs some love.
Battle Shock sadly is just not...
Yeah, it's not as good as I...
As a Night Lord player, I'm saddened by how little it does, but...
Look, just look
my
at Chaos Knights, that's what the Night Lord's Detachment is going to be.
It really should, but the fact that the Chaos Knights are built like that makes me think it's not going to happen. I honestly hope that the Night Lord, whatever detachment, Terror Force, or whatever they name it for the Chaos Marine Codex, is not going to lean on Battle Shock as much, but will lean on stuff like under strength units and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Giving both buffs.
Cool. Mm-hmm.
One Speed Wonder says it's called strategic borrowing. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
GW borrowed it from our brains in the future because we just came up with that off the top of our noggins. So
absolutely, man.
Archaeotech Teleport Homer, 25 points. Shield Captain in Alaris Terminator model only. The first time this model arrives on the battlefield, we should probably change this. The first time the bearer's unit
there we go.
arrives on the battlefield using the Deep Strike ability. That unit.
Because otherwise you'd have to be solo.
That unit can be set up anywhere on the battlefield that is more than 3 inches away horizontally from all enemy models. This unit is not eligible to declare a charge in the same turn that it arrives this way. So a lot of detachments across the game have access to like this as a stratagem. I think having it once per game as an enhancement that you have to pay 25 points for is the way to do it for Custodes.
Yeah, absolutely. An interaction that I thought of later on after we had moved on from this is if you start the Alaris Captain on the table and then you use their uppy downy, that first downy is going to be able to trigger this. Now, is that something that we're happy with?
I think that's fine.
Okay.
I think that's fine. Yeah.
As long as because it is only the first time, I think that's fine.
Yeah.
My concern would be if they could uppy downy and do that every time, then that would be too much.
Well, it would be just 2 times because I think Alaris Custodians can only do it once in a game. So you would.
I mean.
Yeah, but
still.
you start in Deep Strike, you're down, and then you're up, and then you're down.
Then you're down, and you're up, and then you're down. Yeah.
Yeah, it's once per battle. So this keeps you from using it twice, and it's a really strong ability for that much meat. So
Yeah. And 25 points, I think, is a good price for something like that.
totally.
Wrath Victus. Shield Captain model only. Each time the bearer makes an attack that targets a unit that is below its starting strength, reroll a wound roll of 1. If that unit is below half strength, you can reroll the wound roll instead. That's a good little 15-pointer, giving a
Yeah.
Shield Captain a good buff. It might be good on that new, like, Melta Shield Captain, right?
Oh yeah, actually, yeah, this is pretty good. And this encourages focus fire, which is just a good strategy in general. So it's encouraging like good generalship, I guess.
Yeah. All right. And then moving on to our stratagems, we have Salvis, which is a battle tactic for 1 command point. When your shooting phase, target 1 shield captain or a Lars Terminator's unit from your army that has not been selected to shoot. Until the end of the phase, each time a model in your unit makes a ranged attack, that weapon gains the Sustained Hits 1 ability. If that unit is benefiting from the Emperor's Gaze, ranged attacks from that unit score critical hits on hit rolls of 5. So 1 CP, or potentially for free with a shield captain, you are giving a unit sustained, and then also if they're the target of your Emperor's Gaze, then you're getting sustained on 5s instead of 6s.
I love it.
I think that's pretty solid.
Yeah.
Oromite Impact. Your charge phase just after a shield captain or a Lars Terminator's unit from your army ends a charge move. That shield captain or a Lars Terminator's unit, select 1 unit within engagement range of your unit, then roll 1d6 for each model that is within engagement range of that enemy unit. For each 5-up, that enemy unit suffers 1 mortal wound to a maximum of 6. If your unit is benefiting from the Emperor's Gaze, that enemy unit suffers 1 mortal wound for each 4-up instead. I don't. Maybe we should put this on both. The 2
I don't think
maximum of
it's
6.
possible to make it even if you rolled like all 6s. I don't think you can have a unit bigger than 6 models anyway. So maximum of 6, like you can never go past 6.
Is that the maximum Custodes unit size now? Oh yeah, I guess because they reduced the
5+1.
size of the Custodian Guard.
I guess we
I
just
think
changed
it's
it
good to
to-
keep it in there just in case they revert that change, right?
Oh sure, yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. Auric Retribution for 1 command point. Your opponent's shooting phase or the fight phase just after an enemy unit has selected its targets. 1 shield captain or a Lars Terminator's unit from your army that was selected as the target of 1 or more of the attacking unit's attacks. Until the end of the phase, each time a model in your unit is destroyed, if that model has not shot or fought this phase, roll 1d6, adding 1 to the result if that unit is benefiting from the Emperor's Gaze. On a 4+, do not remove the destroyed model from play. It can shoot or fight after the attacking unit has finished making its attacks. So this is effective in 2 different phases of the game. It takes a lot to kill Custodes, obviously. And so this is a good way to spend 1 command point and be like, yeah, you can shoot this thing 1 time, but if you try to focus fire, they're going to shoot or fight you on death, right?
Yep.
On a 4+, that's a 50-50 shot. That's pretty good. And doing it on 3s, if you're under the Emperor's Gaze, I think that's pretty good.
It's kind of like a consolation prize because your Emperor's Gaze unit just got smoked if you're using this. So it's like, all right, that sucks, buddy. Here you go. You can do this. So, yeah, I like it.
Cool. Unyielding Vigilance. Your opponent's movement phase just after an enemy unit is selected to fall back. 1 shield captain or Alaris Custodian's unit from your army that is in engagement range of that enemy unit. When that enemy unit falls back, all models in that unit must take a Desperate Escape test. When doing so, if your unit is benefiting from the Emperor's Gaze, subtract 1 from each of those tests. So you're just killing models on 1s and 2s, or potentially 3s if you're on the Emperor's Gaze. I think that 2 CP, that's solid. That can do a lot of work. You can make your opponent think twice about, if they have knights in engagement range with you. There's a, what is it? 50-ish% chance, a little below 50% chance that they just lose that knight if they try to fall back.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's rolling the dice on that unless they're just an absolute gambling degenerate.
I mean, sometimes you have to, right?
Yeah,
Sometimes,
that's true.
in order
Gotta
to
go
win
for
the
big
game, you
outs.
gotta move your big fucking knight out of the way.
Yeah.
And it costs you
But-
two CP, and there's a chance that it does nothing. So
Exactly,
sometimes it's
yeah.
worth the gamble.
hmm I think the threat of this is bigger than the stratagem itself. It allows custodians to feel stickier than just like all these free fallbacks, because like it's things being able to fall back, shoot, and or charge is becoming a lot more common, I'm noticing, and I think a lot of people's
Yeah.
armies are kind of leaning on that, and this makes it like, okay,
can, if
you
you
have
want
to
to.
factor this in. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So,
There's a lot of units that it's just a really solid move to just fall back, shoot, and charge with them. This would shut off that sort of capability.
Or at least make it a little more of a threat to do that kind of thing.
oh yeah, mind games
Yeah,
at the very
true.
least.
Alright, Eternal Pursuit, 1 CP. Fight phase, just after an enemy unit is destroyed. One shield captain or Lars Terminator's unit from your army that destroyed that enemy unit. Until the end of the phase, each time your unit makes a consolidation move, it can move up to D3+3 instead of 3 inches. If your unit is benefiting from the Emperor's Gaze, it can move up to 6 inches instead. So this is good at chaining out your combats if you are just outside of range, or putting on objectives if you need to get to a very important objective.
Absolutely.
That's good stuff. And then finally, we have Aegis of the Emperor, which is a battle tactic and costs 2 command points. Your shooting phase, or the fight phase, just after an enemy unit has selected its targets, one shield captain or Lars Terminator's unit from your army that was selected as the target of one or more of the attacking unit's attacks. Until the end of the phase, each time an attack targets your unit, worsen the damage characteristic of that attack by 1. If the target unit is benefiting from the Emperor's Gaze until the end of the phase, that unit also has the 6-up Feel No Pain ability. That's good. That's a good little bit of durability. 2 CP, it gives you back some of the functionality that you used to have that might have been just a little bit too oppressive in the index. But it also it gives you the ability to get a little bit more out of it if you're into the Emperor's Gaze, so you are getting closer to Index Custodes in that regard. Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Dude, this, like, here's the thing. This is the excitement that I felt when I was reading through the indexes when they first came out. Like the tingles and me itching to play this detachment is the stuff that I want when I'm looking at detachment like previews and stuff like that. Like this detachment really has, like, I would say like 2.5 builds that it really wants you in, and it really wants you to lean into them, but it doesn't, like, in my opinion, blow anything out of the water, or it's not very like monolithic, right? You can lean into guard, you can lean into Alaris, you can have a mix, and it kind of keeps you from wanting to overstep into what do you call it, the blade champion, right? So it doesn't non-bow the blade champion, but if you're going to use the blade champion, you are having an opportunity cost there. Yeah, so I think that's a good way to kind of like round out the internal balance, as people like to call it. But like, dude, this is what this shit should have been, man. This is what this should have been.
Yeah, do you want to
excited to play this?
I'm legitimately fucking hyped to play this, dude.
Hell yeah.
Oh my god.
And there's a good chance that somebody smarter than us is gonna find something incredibly broken with this.
Yeah, maybe.
But that's not us, and so we'll find out when we actually play it.
Dude, we might need to do this with AdMech.
Make a new AdMech detachment?
Yeah,
Okay.
we might need to. I'm not sure
AdMech
what
V Custodes.
Who could we borrow from?
Yeah, exactly. I haven't looked at the
We'll have
Tau.
to
It's nice having like a baseline. I'll
Mhm.
have to look around.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
and the Bully Boys one, to me, like, it leans into the same kind of stuff where you're trying to make your thicker units a little bit more deadly and a little bit more durable,
Mhm.
without going too overboard. I kind of like, for Custodes, picking a unit per turn, per battle round, I guess, technically, rather than only being able to do it twice per game for the whole army. I think that fits the Custodes style a little bit more.
Yeah. Have we named the detachment yet?
We haven't. We do have to name the detachment. What do we want to name this?
All right.
Yeah, I was looking through the wiki trying to find some thread to
Chat, what do you
So
guys
if we
want
wanna
to
do
go
a-
off of.
Yeah, actually, chat, weigh in on this. Some options that I was thinking about.
Okay.
So this wants you to be using Alaris Terminators. In 9th edition, the Alaris Terminator detachment was Dreadhost, the Dreadhost. So that's an option. It's kind of like the easy road, but
So what was the Dreadhost ability called? Because that might be...
the Dreadhost ability was. Oh, hold on. Let me just confirm with Waha. I'm pretty sure they hold on to the old editions. Dreadhost, I think, improved AP by 1 if you're within 9 inches. So it rewarded really close range shooting and melee.
Instruments of the Emperor's Wrath.
Oh
Holy
shit, that's actually fucking dope. Dude.
That
Oh
goes
my
kinda hard.
god.
Instruments
Dude.
of the Emperor's Wrath.
It's a mouthful, but I kind of like that.
I mean, we could also
I was
just
thinking
call it
like the Emperor's
Wrath.
hand.
Oh yeah.
Although the detachment will
Hand
be
of the
called the
Emperor.
Emperor's Gaze. Maybe calling the detachment also the Emperor's something isn't great. I do. So there was a thing. The Host of Heroes was a detachment rule that Custodes had in 9th edition.
Mm-hmm.
Host of Heroes is kind of cool. You can include a maximum of 1 of each type of shield captain in each Custodes detachment. Host of Heroes kind of fits that, I think, right? Because you're talking about all the different shield captains and the Terminators and stuff. That seems kind of
Oh, dude. One that just sounds cool is Magna Imperator. That just hits.
What
Man.
does
I don't know.
What does Magna mean?
Magna Imperator is the shield host fighting style for Emperor's Chosen in
With great distinction. Okay. Magna Imperator. Okay.
We could do a poll if we want to do a poll on the Discord, or actually on the view chat too. We could do that as well.
Yeah. Everybody come up with one. All 3 of us. Send us one. And we'll do a poll. And we'll make an option for other where you guys just tell us the one that you want.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll make like a full codex style graphic for this, so we can send it out to everyone.
This is gonna be rad, dude. This is gonna be absolutely friggin' rad. I think we may need to consider doing something like this for AdMech. Maybe like during the, depending on what they do for AdMech. If it's just like, you know, a wet fart of a balance, then we can just get in there and be like, nah, we're gonna go ahead and take the wheel here.
Yeah, we'll see what they do in the next balanced data slate, and if they're still hot garbage after the next balanced data slate, then yeah, we'll definitely look at that.
Yeah.
Because they're really bad. You know, maybe we get Sean on and we have him help us rewrite the Death Watch.
Oh, that would be interesting.
You know?
Yeah,
That could be cool.
that would be very cool.
Maybe that's what we do while he's in town. Sean's gonna come visit us,
Ooh.
and when he's visiting,
Sean.
maybe we can fix Death Watch. Because we're clearly
Mortalis
we're
goes hard.
clearly very good at what we're doing here.
Oh, dude, I'm high on my own supply right now. Like this,
I'm huffing
and
my own
80% of
farts
it
for
is
sure.
yeah, 80% of this is stolen shit, like from the Orks book and previous. I'm so smart.
GW, do you need someone? You need to hire anybody? Woo!
Yeah, just hire us.
Or do you need
We
play
got
testers?
this. We got this easily.
Oh my god, would absolutely love it, man.
Yeah, so I'll put up that poll. I'll release this data for everyone to use in their games. As long, make sure you're not trying to trick your opponents into thinking that this is an actual detachment. Make sure you're upfront with them that this is
Absolutely.
a homebrew detachment.
Yeah. What is one step beyond Legends? We need to call it that. Like it's not even Legends. It's beyond.
This is just homebrew.
Just homebrew, baby. This is like. I don't even know what to call this. This is like hyper homebrew, literally, pretty much. So
Yeah.
It's Slamhammer, man.
Yeah,
Slamhammer.
War
on
Slammer.
Yeah.
War Slammer. Slamhammer. War Slammer.
Oh, we got to send it to Poorhammer to see what they think.
Yeah, I am very curious to see what their initial read on this is. That would actually be a lot of fun to get
That
the
is
critical
assuming, that is
third-party
assuming that
games.
we can actually get them to take a look at it.
We could, you know, just
Oh,
camp out in
you
front of
should
their
make
place.
it so the rules only work if you're within 6 inches of a Sisters of Silent unit. Or some other shit like Aquilon Terminators.
Poor Aquilon Terminators. Oh man. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Sisters of Silence, they got their detachment and they got the brother and sister detachment. Those could both probably use some love. This one is like, I don't know. This one is like the Terminator and
The whole book
company
could use
list.
some love.
Dude, absolutely.
Yeah. So I'll send this out. I'll make a poll. And yeah, that's about that. So coming up next Monday, we're not gonna be playing Custodes. Sorry, guys. We're gonna be playing Orks versus World Eaters. That's gonna be a fun one. And then we'll figure out something for next Thursday, and then probably the following Monday, we will try out our Custodes detachment here.
Oh yeah. Dude.
That'll be fun.
Oh
We'll have to
my
figure
God,
out a
it's
good
gonna be
opponent
great.
for this. Do you want to play? Oh, we could do this versus Dark Angel's Inner Circle. So it's like the two different
yeah.
like thick Terminator detachments versus each other.
Yeah, dude. Oh my God.
Thick boy summer.
Yeah.
Just a brick house of a battle
I did
going
rewrite my Dark Angels list today because there were some cool points drops. I am gonna bring a Brutalis Dreadnought for sure. Now that they
dude.
went down in points.
I love it.
So
Hell yeah.
that'll be fun.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna need some test games with this detachment, like for real.
Oh, yeah.
But this looks like a ton of fun.
Hey, if you guys play this, let us know. Tell us in the Discord. Join the Discord. Tell us how your games go. Give us your own little written out battle report. That'd be cool. And yeah, I think that'll probably do it for us here. Unless you guys had something else you want to talk about.
I mean, the points update really didn't have me talking about much.
No.
Death Guard got 10 points shaved off of their dreadnought that no one brings, but
It was the Hellbrute. The Hellbrute got
Yeah.
points drop, right? Yeah.
hell yeah, dude. But you know, I guess Ryan's day in the sun with his what was it, Vindicators?
Vindicators went down 15 points, baby.
Yep.
175.
Time to buy 2 more.
Yeah, 3
Yeah, dude.
Vindicators. Well, did Chaos Vindicators also go down?
All Vindicators went down, yeah.
All of them? Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm gonna have to
Cool.
actually
That boom,
build
boom.
one.
Soon we're going to play this detachment. Soon we're going to play a detachment with 3 Vindicators. And until then, we'll catch you guys on Monday.
Hell yeah,
Soon I'm gonna
toodles.
steal 2 more Vindicators. Bye.